Hey, what's going on? This is the week 4 November weekly review. So yeah, it's Saturday right now. Pretty much just chilling out. 419. Um, yeah, man. I mean, not a whole lot to say. Didn't really do anything with the market this past week. We saw Thanksgiving on Thursday as well, so it was a holiday week. So yeah, kind of understand that as we basically look at this week's review. This is the first weekly review that we've seen with the holiday week, and so you'll see just sort of a difference in the delivery. Personally, I try to avoid these types of weeks as far as, this intraday perspective, lower time frame perspective. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to like necessarily like I'd be willing to, hold a position during this time frame, but personally not really looking to engage in open risk as far as leveraged trading. But either way, that's not financial advice, it's just my, personal perspective. But either way, here we got the weekly range here. This is ES. Low of week, Monday at 4. London session here. High of week. We actually only had 4 days this week, right? Because of the holiday, right? So the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This should say Thursday. So the high of week was Thursday at 12. So very fascinating, right? We only have 4 days, and then this fourth day only, the last candle of the day is the the 1300 candle. So that in and of itself is fascinating. Like there wasn't even a New York PM session there. So yeah, either way, I mean, something to consider as far as personal, money management, personal risk management. Do you want to open yourself up to risk during this type of week or not, right? If so, personally, I'd only do it Monday or Tuesday. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, again, not financial advice, but either way, weekly range there, 238 handles, pretty interesting. Right back to the price engine, consolidation, expansion, retracement, back into the consolidation here. That was, within the new week opening gap here. Consolidation low, consolidation high. And then further expansion, right, for the Monday. Basically, same look on Tuesday. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, back into previous day's range, right? Excuse me. And then we continue to expand to and through the, essentially previous days or previous week's high. So though, that like the Monday, Tuesday was interesting delivery. Um, it did target that significant, pool of liquidity. But in my opinion, Wednesday, basically is just the beginning of the Thursday holiday, um, manual intervention of the high resistance holding pattern, essentially. So honestly, though, there is the same look, right? Consolidation, expansion, retracement into previous day's range continues to expand. So pretty fascinating. Ultimately, same look as well here on Thursday. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, expansion. And then, yeah, again, no price action on that Friday there. So here we got the, just the times, right? The times of the low of day and high of day. So again, with that, really that key level, that weekly low, London low, 4 a.m. there. Within the consolidation, right? Deep into the discount of the consolidation, technically simultaneously that new week opening gap, right? And the discount to the weekly open. And, ultimately that Monday open as well. So very interesting confluence with that swing low. Um, right. High of day there. So we see that New York PM. Pretty fascinating again, right? Very interesting Judas swing type of action here on Tuesday, 9:30 was, essentially like within this breakout shorts induced. Then we continue higher to and through previous week's high. So, very interesting Monday, Tuesdays. New York AM high, right? And then we just really retrace slash consolidate, very high resistance. Very interesting, right? Essentially mirrored image here on NASDAQ. Definitely worth noting though, right? Weekly low of NASDAQ here was at 5. Yes, it was at 4. So very fascinating intermarket divergence there. Additional confluence for that swing low, for that weekly low. Something to potentially study off of the lower time frames here, back test further, etc. So yeah, same situation um, for the high of week as well. We saw that high of week at 13 here, right? Nasdaq puts in that high and then retraces. So we see that for the high and the low of the week. Um, just kind of an interesting little observation as far as the intermarket analysis goes. But either way, um, thousand handle range there for Nasdaq. So again, same looks. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, expansion. Same situation on Tuesday and Wednesday and ultimately Thursday, right? So you got pretty interesting New York PMs here as well on the Monday and Tuesday. That retracement expansion, right? So we could, personally, I'm anticipating one of two templates essentially during New York PM if I'm trading during New York PM, and that is the AM expansion, PM expansion, or the AM expansion, PM reversal. And it's simply engaging one of those two trades. Not even necessarily needing to see that pan out fully. But like trading in alignment with one of those two theses is um, almost like the psychological conviction that I need to engage in that risk here with the index intraday. So yeah, now down to the Asian session here. Yes. Asian session is its own interesting study. Um, Really, when you take that deeper look, you can see how the daily ranges and ultimately weekly ranges are essentially delivered off of the Asian session liquidity. So that in and of itself is very fascinating as well. It's equally as fascinating, I feel like, once or twice a week. Especially these past weeks that we've seen in November, there's been one or two Asian sessions that are essentially an expansion. And so we see that here, right? Really just to follow up the continuation here. This should say Tuesday, but like of the Tuesday move, we should see essentially continuation of that. And again, we see one of those or two of those um, a week, it seems like, recently. And so that in of itself could be its own situation. And yeah, consolidation, very fascinating. So yeah, thanks for watching.